Yeah, all right, everybody. Yeah, welcome back to the bottom line with P. Drew. So we right on the brink of the season. Seen this finally here. Starts tomorrow night. Really excited. The Cowboys and the Eagles kicking us off tomorrow, and then turn around right again. We got the Chiefs and the Chargers on Friday night in Brazil, and then the rest of the games will kick off on Sunday. So really looking forward to all the games. See how the season starts. So I didn't get a chance to finish my division predictions that I was doing, trying to pick who I thought was going to win the division in each order. Wasn't able to do it. Sorry about that. Had some technical difficulties. So what I'm gonna do tonight is just jump straight into my playoff predictions. And pick who I believe is going to win tomorrow and Friday. So, with that being said, go ahead and start in the AFC. So, who do I got in the playoffs with the AFC? So, I'm gonna start with the division winners. It's gonna be in no particular order. 7 teams from each conference makes the playoff. And so, in the AFC, I'm going with the Bills to win the AFC East. I'm going with the Ravens to win the AFC North. I'm going with surprisingly, I'm going with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, as some of you may know, if some of you don't, my team is the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's my squad. Been my squad forever, and I'm actually picking them, man. I really think that we're gonna make that leap, that jump this year. I know the Texans have won it the last couple years, but I think we're gonna catch them this year. I think they're gonna take another step back. They lost some players. I don't think they're as good. I still believe in a quarterback. C.J. Stroud can ball, but I think Trevor's gonna have a bounce back year. Travis gonna have a big rookie season. Brian Thomas is just one more year, man. I think he's got star potential. He's gonna be our number one. So I'm picking us to win the AFC South. I'm picking the Jacksonville Jaguars to win the South. And AFC West, obviously, until somebody beats them, going with Kansas City, the Kansas City Chiefs. And then, so for the 3 teams that I got in the wild card, I am going with the Bengals, the Steelers, and the Chargers. So yeah, I got 3 teams out of the AFC North that I believe will make the playoff, and then the Chargers out of the AFC West. Once again, man, I know a lot of people are high on the Broncos. They real high on the Broncos, but I am not. Like I said, they gonna have to show me. I know they made some good additions, and everybody's talking about how they good they're gonna be, but like I said, I just don't see it. I think a lot of the teams in the AFC got better, and I think strictly because of the height. I really think because of the height and because of all the pressure that they putting on Bo Nix in his second year and that they supposed to be this great team, I don't think they're gonna make the playoffs. So, like I said, I got the Bills, Ravens, Jaguars, Chiefs as division winners, and then in my wild card, I have like I said, the Bengals, Steelers, and the Chargers in no particular order. Just those are the 17s that I believe are going to get in. Then in the NFC, so we go down to the NFC, and in the NFC, so NFC East, I'm taking a shot in the dark. I am really high on Jaden Daniels, man. I'm really high on him. I don't see a sophomore slump. I see this kid's success early. I do not see him dropping off either, especially with the additions they made. They were able to sign Terry McLaurin to his contract, so be able to retain him, bring him back, and then you add a Debo Samuel to the offense, man. I am high on Jaden Daniels and the Redskins. I'm calling them the Redskins. I don't give a fuck, man. I've been calling them that shit too long. Commanders just don't fit. I hate calling them the Commanders. To me, they the Redskins. So whenever I refer to them, I'm still calling them the Redskins. So I got the Redskins coming out of the NFC East as a division winner over the defending Super Bowl champs. Even though I still think that they're gonna get in, absolutely. So I got the Redskins coming out of the East. Then out of the North, I still got Detroit. A lot of people thinking Detroit is going to take a step back. They might take a slight step back, but I mean, they win 13, 14 games last year. I think they still going to win 12, 13. I still see them as the best team in the North. I don't see that changing, man. They still got a high-powered offense, still got all those weapons. One more year together. They're getting Aiden Hutchinson back too, their best pass rusher, best defensive player. And yeah, I don't see them stepping back that far. I still think they're gonna win the North, even though their division is a lot better. Especially with what happened now in Green Bay. But once again, as far as the division, I still think the Lions got that in the North, NFC. I'm going with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think that's a little clear cut. I know the Falcons are on the rise. A lot of people are high on the Falcons too. A lot of analysts and a lot of people saying that they, the betting odds are they're high on Atlanta, thinking that a lot of people are picking them to win the division. But until it's proven, I'm still going with Tampa Bay. I still think Tampa Bay wins the NFC South, and the Los Angeles Rams for the West. I think I already said that. So in the NFC West, I still got the LA Rams. I believe they'll win that division. So those are your automatics. So the Redskins, the Lions, the Buccaneers, and the Rams. And then the wild cards. This is where it gets tricky for me. Because I believe the Eagles are going to make it. I just think the Redskins are going to win the division. But I think the Eagles will be right there. I think they'll have similar records. I just think that the Redskins are going to edge them by just a little bit. Then the Packers. I definitely got the Packers in there. Once again, Jordan Love is one of them quarterbacks. He's going to be up and down during the season, whether it be the injury or just play. Like I said, I do believe they'll win enough games to get into the playoffs. They've been in the last couple of years. He always finds a way to win enough games to get into the postseason. So I still think that they will. And once again, the Packers are just one of them dangerous teams, man. When they get in, they get hot at the right time. They can beat anybody. Jordan Love is one of them guys. If he's on that day, he can beat anybody in the league. So I still think the Packers will win enough games to get into the playoffs, but I think they're going to be in the wild card 5, 6, or 7. And then, so Eagles, Packers definitely going to be. Now, this is where it gets tricky for me because I got one more spot but 3 teams that I believe can make it. So the Vikings, the Falcons, and the Seahawks. Those are the 3 teams that I believe are going to be fighting for that last spot. Like I said, I believe the Falcons and the Seahawks both will finish second in their division. So the Falcons in the NFC South, I got finishing second in their division behind Tampa. And the Seahawks, I actually have finishing second in their division in the NFC West. So, but the Vikings, I have finishing third in their division. But for me, the Vikings are still a better team. They're more proven to me. Even though I know they got a first-year starting quarterback, J.J. McCarthy, we still got to see what he can do. But as far as the team and the coach and the culture, I believe that that's better than what is in Atlanta right this second. It's more proven, I'll say. It's more proven than what's in Atlanta and what's in Seattle. Like I said, Sam Darnold just got to Seattle. They got some new pieces. Like I said, people like DeMarcus Lawrence, pass rush. You got Cooper Kupp. I believe that it'll be them, Atlanta, and Minnesota. So if I had to pick one, I'm going to go with Minnesota only because when I look at the team structure, what they did last year, and how much that's changed. Like I said, the only thing Minnesota really changed was the quarterback. Everything else is still in place. Like I said, coach, defensive coordinator, one of the best defenses in the league, Brian Flores, is still the defensive coordinator. So that's still going to be there to help young J.J. McCarthy. The only thing Minnesota has really changed is the quarterback. Atlanta kind of in the same situation, but that's the problem. See, last year they didn't make the playoffs. And they kept most of the same team. The only thing they changed is the quarterback. But the difference is Minnesota won 14 games last year. Atlanta did not. Atlanta didn't even make the playoffs. So the Seahawks basically had a complete turnaround. Second-year coach, first-year quarterback, and made some off-season additions. They changed a few things, but So they're the biggest wild card. But once again, if I said between Minnesota and Atlanta, Atlanta kept the same thing, Minnesota kept the same thing, but one team made the playoffs 14 games, the other one didn't make the playoffs. So out of those three teams, but once again, I like Michael Penix, man. Michael Penix can play. It's just gonna be interesting what he does on the field. We gotta see it first. So if I had to pick one of these teams to make that seventh spot right now, I'm gonna go ahead and go with Minnesota. And so that means the Falcons and the Seahawks will be out. Also the 49ers. 49ers, Brock Purdy got to prove it to me, man. They lost too many pieces. That's one of the most injury prone teams in the league. Brock Purdy, middle of the pack quarterback, looked good when he had the weapons, but now he don't have the same weapons. And like I said, a lot of that team is injury prone. So it still got some injuries. Like I said, his number one receiver is supposed to be Brandon Ayuk is not playing. Your number one weapon that was there to help you before, Deebo Samuel, is now in Washington. So, like I said, and you lost some key pieces on defense. So, like I said, I don't think San Francisco is going to be as good. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just don't see it. I don't think they'll be as good. I think they're going to miss the playoffs. And I think the Seahawks and the Falcons, even if they win 10 games, they might have, they could have a good season. But I think when it comes down to it, they'll be fighting for a spot, and I think Minnesota is going to take that last spot. So that's who I got in the NFC. Washington, Detroit Lions, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and Los Angeles Rams winning the division as the number one seeds in their division. And then the wild card spot, Eagles, Packers, and Minnesota to wrap it up. So that's who I got right now, man, as my preseason playoff predictions. And who do I got for tomorrow night? So tomorrow night, I believe the Eagles will win the game. It's the opening game, man. A lot of people are thinking that Dallas will get blown out. I think it'll be a little better game than what people are expecting. Like I said, I know a lot of people expecting Dallas to fall straight on their face, but it's a division rival. It's week one. Mostly everybody that's going to play is fairly healthy. So I think it'll be a little bit better game. The Eagles could possibly pull away, maybe a 10 points, 14, 2 touchdowns at the most victory, but I don't see a blowout, man. It's week one. Everybody's coming to play, man. And like I said, division rival. Anytime, it don't matter. Even if there's a backup quarterback, it usually don't matter who's playing in the division rival. A lot of times, man, it's a much better game than what people expect, no matter how bad one team is or the other, especially when it's Cowboys, Eagles, that kind of rival, that kind of division rival. Yeah, I like that. You know what I'm saying? So I think it'll be a better game, but I still do got the Eagles winning. I think they'll be able to pull it off. And Friday night, so you got the Chiefs and the Chargers. Interesting game. I'm going with the upset. I'm going Chargers. I think the Chargers got a lot to prove. I know KC is going to be back on a mission because, they lost in the Super Bowl. They got embarrassed in the Super Bowl, and they've been talking a revenge tour all off season, so how they're going to come back with a vengeance. And, they're looking forward to making a new statement this season, that they're coming back hungry now because they felt like they got embarrassed. But I think the Chargers got a lot to prove. And honestly, they played the Eagles in week 2. And I think they're looking past the Chargers and looking at their first game as that Eagles game, as that revenge game that they're looking forward to. And I think that they're looking past the Chargers, especially with the game being in Brazil. Neutral site, neither team has a home team. Even though I believe there'll be more KC fans in Brazil, I really do think that, because they're probably Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. They probably got a lot more global fans, worldwide fans than what LA does. What the Chargers do, especially with Travis Kelce. Now that he's got the superstar girlfriend who's a big global star, I think KC will probably be a lot more noticeable, have more noticeable people on their team. So I think there'll be more fans for KC. But I really think that, like I said, with it being out of the country and being in a neutral site game, I think KC is looking, because they play Philly in week 2, and they really feel like case, I didn't really feel like they want that revenge game. I think they kind of looking past the Chargers, and I think the Chargers could sneak up on them and get this victory in week one over them. And I think they'll pull off. I think they're gonna pull off the upset. I think Justin Herbert's gonna come out much better out of the gate. I think Jim Harbaugh got these boys ready to play. I think the Chargers are going to have a better season overall than they did last year, and I think they're going to make a statement in this first game against Kansas City. So that's my prediction for the first two games of the season. And then, hey, man, we're going to get rolling on Sunday and see what they're doing, man. So, like I said, just really, really looking forward to the upcoming season, and we'll see how it go. Man, you'll catch me back here, man, for the predictions of week one, man. I'll do that before Sunday, and like I said, we'll see how it goes. So until then, see y'all.